Hello, and thank you for tuning in to our partner training series presented by ServingIntel for your point of sale system. In today's video, we will discuss and explain the different uses and settings for the Retrieve Sale button function. More specifically, we will explore the different settings that can be set up for this button function when it is going to be used by our management team exclusively. But before we dive into the settings for this button function, let us first explore the intended usage of this button. The Retrieve Sale button allows the user to temporarily pick up a check assigned to another employee. This is typically used by management to make changes to an employee's check, such as voids or discounts. This button function can also be used by the cashier, servers, or bartenders in most cases to retrieve checks throughout the course of the service. And as we stated earlier, today we will be focusing on the functional settings of this button when it is being set up to be used exclusively by management. So let's go take a look at this button function setup. We will begin in our back office. Once there, we will select the maintenance icon, followed by the button maintenance icon. This will bring us to our button maintenance configuration window. From here, we will begin by selecting Retrieve Sale from the function drop-down list right here. Then, to access the settings for this button function, we will click the Edit Function Data button located right over here. And this action will bring us to our configuration window for our Retrieve Sale button. So let's take a look at the configurations that we would like to set up for our management team. This first set of configurations deals with which checks the user will see when they select the Retrieve Sale button on the front-end terminals. And since we are setting this button up for our management team, we want them to be able to see all checks available when they select this button. The other options for this section will be covered in the front of the house employee version of this video. So if you are looking for more information on this topic, please make sure to check out that video. But moving on with our setup for our management team, we will move down and see that the next option that we have is the check selection method. This setting deals with how the retrieved sales will be displayed to the user once the Retrieve Sale button has been selected on the front-end terminal. And the most common options are alphanumeric check description. Selecting this option, checks are retrieved by entering the check description using the alphanumeric keyboard. Enter check number. Checks are retrieved by entering the check number on the front-end terminal. Graphical store layout. Checks are retrieved by selecting the table from the graphical store layout. The table layout configured in your section/table maintenances. Multi-column list box. Checks are retrieved by selecting a check from the multi-column list box. Or single column list box. Checks will be retrieved by selecting a check from a single column list box. So once you've selected the best option for your style of business, we will move on to the Sort Checks By options. In this section, we will be selecting the order in which the retrieved checks will be sorted by when they appear on the front-end terminal. The first option is Check Description. Selecting this option displays checks by description in numeric, first digit, and then alphabetical order. Next, we have the Check Number option. Selecting this option displays checks by check number from lowest to highest. After that option, we see the option to Sort by Check Total. Selecting this option displays checks by the check total from the lowest to the highest amount. Then we also see the option to Sort by Date/Time. Selecting this option will display the checks chronologically, beginning with the earliest date and time that an order was placed. We also have the options to sort by employee ID or by table number. The most commonly used sort methods in hospitality settings are typically sorting by check number, employee ID, or by table number. But once we have our sort method selected, we will need to set our security level to reflect the security level befitting a manager function. In most cases, this is level 10 security setting. Then we can click File and Save As. We will then type a name for our button in the field labeled Button Name and then click OK. And voila, we have now created and configured a Retrieve Sale button for our managers to use on the front-end terminals. So make sure that you tune in to the next video in this series to learn how this button and its functions can be set up to save our front-of-the-house employees a ton of time as well. And before you leave, don't forget to click the link below and subscribe to the ServingIntel channel. That way you can stay up to date on the latest tips, tricks, and new technologies available to you from ServingIntel. And as always, if you encounter any issues with this or any other aspect of your system, please call the ServingIntel Service Desk for 24/7 premium software support by dialing 1-888-477-7711 and selecting extension 2. Support tickets can also be generated by sending an email to service@servingintel.com. And whichever method you choose, your support request will be handled quickly and efficiently by one of our highly trained and dedicated support staff members. Thanks again for tuning in to our Partner Learning Series, and be on the lookout for more helpful videos and tips coming soon. And most importantly, thank you for choosing Serving Intel for all your restaurant technology needs.